What is up, you guys? I am Tony Metro, and today we're going to be grading every Nike City Connect jersey in Major League Baseball. So the Nike City Connect jerseys are a collaboration between Nike and Major League Baseball to connect each team to its history, its city, and the state that they play in. So far, we've seen the designs unveiled for the Red Sox, the Cubs, the White Sox, the Marlins, the Diamondbacks, and as recently as this weekend, the San Francisco Giants. And let's just say that the reactions have been very mixed from baseball fans around the league. Leading off, we have the Boston Red Sox Nike City Connect jerseys, and all I have to say is that I have to keep my dinner down when I look at these uniforms. I mean, what is going on here? The Red Sox have ditched the red for yellow and blue, and I mean, not just a little yellow, that is a lot of yellow. So reading up on these a little bit, Nike was inspired by the Massachusetts state flag, which is blue and yellow, as well as Patriots Day, which is a huge holiday in the Boston area. Boston is written across the chest in blue, and then you can see on the left arm sleeve there's a patch that looks like a racing bib in honor of the Boston Marathon. It also has the number 617 inside of it, which is the Boston area code. I think that's a really cool idea, but I just cannot get over how much yellow is in these uniforms. The uniforms are supposed to connect the city to the team, so it makes sense that they want to honor Patriots Day, the Boston Marathon, and the flag. But to have no red in the Red Sox uniform just doesn't feel right to me. And honestly, these uniforms are strikingly familiar, probably because they could pass for the UCLA Bruin uniforms. I will say this, the font across the front of the chest is extremely unique. The first thing that popped out to me, not something that I've seen on any other uniforms before, so I like that. But overall, the color scheme just really messes it up for me, and so for those reasons, I'm giving Boston's Nike City Connect uniforms a D. While the Red Sox fall short, the White Sox Nike City Connect uniforms are absolute fire. So Nike pays tribute to Chicago and specifically the resilient and hardworking attitude of the city. The uniforms are dark gray, almost a charcoal color, and it's inspired by Chicago's gray stone architectural style. Across the chest, south side, of course, where the Chicago White Sox reside, and it's written in a familiar font similar to the Gothic style that the White Sox already use. And all I have to say is that these are some of the freshest uniforms, not only in Major League Baseball, but in all of sports. The color scheme is amazing. The white pinstripes pop so well with that dark charcoal color on the backdrop. The font across the chest is so unique and different from anything I've seen before, and the numbers look amazing as well. And best of all, they are doing these jerseys with black pants. Now, I know black pants are a very controversial topic in baseball, but I gotta say, these ones work. I don't know if the White Sox have plans to use these jerseys after 2021, but I highly advise them to do it because I'm not even a Sox fan, but I might go buy one of these. So for those reasons, the Chicago White Sox Nike City Connect uniforms are getting an A+. Next, we have the Miami Marlins Nike City Connect uniforms, and I'm really not feeling these ones. The uniforms are an ode to Latin America's contribution to Major League Baseball. They're inspired by the Cuban Sugar Kings 1959 Junior World Series team that paved the way for tons of Latin American players in the sport. Across the chest, the Miami logo is featured in this same hand painting style that you can find in the Little Havana neighborhood of Miami. Then there's the right sleeve patch, which is to, quote, connect the Miami Marlins to the sport's Latin American heritage and community. I mean, isn't that the entire point of these uniforms? I will say this, the font across the chest is really bold, not something I've really seen before, especially the way they dotted the I's in Miami. And the partial pinstripes going down the obliques are really clean. I gotta say, full pinstripes would have been too much, so they definitely nailed that. Overall though, I'm just not crazy about the colors on this uniform. The red is just a little overpowering for me, and it just doesn't incorporate enough about the Marlins franchise. And even after doing some research, I still haven't figured out what that patch on the left arm sleeve actually means. So I'm gonna give them a C. The Diamondbacks are a horrible baseball team in 2021. And it doesn't help that they also have the worst uniforms in Major League Baseball. Just pick a color scheme already, guys. But the Diamondbacks City Connect jerseys are stunning. The Diamondback City Connect jerseys are inspired by the climate and terrain of the Sonoran Desert. Written across the chest is serpientes, which of course is Spanish for snakes, and it even incorporates a rattlesnake into that design. The Arizona state flag is incorporated in a patch on one of the arm sleeves, and then down just below the jock tag you'll find another patch. This patch is composed of a rattlesnake in the shape of a V, representing the valley that the Arizona Diamondbacks play in, and it also features the sun in the middle of it. These uniforms are great, and honestly, the Diamondbacks should ditch their current uniforms for this one. The cream color of the uniforms represents the sand of the Sonoran Desert, and it really just pops with the red and black piping. Like I said, the Serpientes logo with the rattlesnake head and the rattle at the end of it is just so cool and unique. And the hats really complete the look with a two-tone cap, cream on the top, black brim, and the black logo. These uniforms come really close to the Chicago White Sox City Connect uniforms, but we don't know what color pants the D-backs are going to be wearing with these tops. For those reasons, I can't put them over the South Side design, but the Diamondbacks grade out really well here. I'm giving them a B+ on these uniforms. Meanwhile, like I mentioned, the San Francisco Giants dropped their City Connect uniforms this weekend, and oof, these are not it. The most prominent feature of the uniforms is the Golden Gate Bridge that you can find on both arm sleeves. Then you have this white paint splatter look on the bridges and the uniform numbers, and I guess it's supposed to represent the fog because it's always foggy in San Francisco and the Bay. Here's a quote from an article on the San Francisco Giants website. On the chest, a bold G rises from the fog, symbolizing our pride and unmatched passion for baseball. This collection embodies everything beyond the thick marine layer, the hidden treasures that is San Francisco. Okay, a little cinematic for me, but okay. Alright, so these are not horrible, but I definitely don't love them, and here's why. The fog just really doesn't look good at all. Honestly, when I first saw these uniforms, I thought that was actually a water splash to represent when a home run goes into McCovey Cove. I think that would have been a much better direction to go in instead of this fog, which honestly just kind of looks like a bad paint job. The Golden Gate bridges on the sleeves is a great idea, but I think it's lacking execution. They just kind of look like they were printed on there as opposed to being stitched on with more detail. And lastly, the G logo literally looks like the Gatorade G logo, and I just can't unsee that now. As for the hat, it's a lot of orange, but I think it works with the white logo, so that's probably my favorite aspect about these jerseys. So while the San Francisco Giants are having a really good season, their edition of the Nike City Connect uniforms just are not working for me, so I'm going to give them a C-. And the Chicago Cubs are the final City Connect uniforms that we have seen, and I think they're pretty good. The jersey seen here with the number 77 represents the 77 neighborhoods in Chicago, and the color scheme is influenced by the city flag. Across the chest reads Wrigleyville, written in the familiar script that you see on the Wrigley Field marquee. And lastly, the caps pay homage to the city's flag with a star centered with the Chicago Cubs C. And how about these cleats? Now, I know not every player will wear these cleats, but they are really, really fresh. And if you take a closer look, you can actually see the name of multiple neighborhoods throughout Chicago on them. Overall, the White Sox are going to have the better grade between the two Chicago teams, but the Cubs Nike City Connect jerseys get a B+ from me. And those are the grades for all the Nike City Connect uniforms that we have seen unveiled so far. What do you guys think? Who has the best Nike City Connect uniforms and who has the worst? And what color and aspects of Los Angeles should the Dodgers incorporate in their Nike Connect uniforms? With the trade deadline coming up, be sure to check out my latest video, Top Trade Deadline Targets for the New York Mets, where I highlight 10 potential targets for the Mets to acquire before the deadline. And stay tuned for my upcoming video later this week, should the Yankees fire Aaron Boone.